House will please return to order. Let's return at this time to consideration of standing committee reports.
Your Committee on Rules has had under consideration House Concurrent Resolution 13, honoring the life of Tony Whitlow, and reports the same back with the recommendation that the resolution be adopted.
Report to be received.
Your Committee on Health and Human Resources has had under consideration Senate Bill 228 relating to use of technology and child abuse and neglect investigations, and reports the same back with amendment with the recommendation that the bill do pass as amended, but first be referred to your Committee on Finance.
Report to be received and the bill to be referred to the Committee on Finance. Other standing committee reports? If not, the clerk has Senate messages.
The Clerk of the Senate announces that the Senate has passed with amendment and title amendment House Bill 5682, supplemental appropriation to expire funds to surplus balance of general revenue.
Message will be received. Gentleman first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 5682, the purpose of the bill was a supplementary appropriation bill to expire $72 million out of the Governor's Civil Contingency Fund and appropriate it to the Higher Education Policy Commission for medical school projects. The Senate amended the appropriation to reduce the expiration out of the Governor's Civil Contingency Fund to $35 million, but kept the full appropriation amount, and the remainder was used from unappropriated surplus. The amendment's consistent with the House's purpose in passing the bill. There is a slight change that I'm going to move with further amendment, and our further amendment is that the Senate amendment did not account for the Governor's veto message regarding the fiscal year 26 budget bill. So our amendment reflects the line totals after that veto and adjusts the item total accordingly. So that, Mr. Speaker, I move that we concur with further amendment.
The question before the House is the motion offered by the gentleman first that the House concur in the Senate amendment with further amendment on House Bill 5682. Is there debate on the motion? If not, those in favor of adoption of the gentleman's motion, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. The ayes have it. The chair declares the motion adopted. The question now before the House is, shall the bill pass? Is there debate on the bill? If not, those in favor of passage of the bill will please vote aye. Those opposed will please vote no. The clerk will prepare the machine. Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will please close the machine and ascertain the result on that question. There were 77 ayes, 5 nays, and 17 members absent, a majority of the members having voted in the affirmative. The chair declares the bill passed. The clerk will please report the title.
House Bill 5682.
Other title amendments? If not, the title as read by the clerk will be and remain the title of the bill. Gentleman first.
Mr. Speaker, I move the bill become effective from passage.
The question is on the motion that the bill take effect from passage. Those in favor of the motion will please vote aye. Those opposed will please vote no. The clerk will prepare the machine. Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will please close the machine and ascertain the result on that question. There are 79 ayes, 4 nays, and 16 members absent. 2/3 of the members having voted in the affirmative. The chair declares the bill effective from passage. The clerk will please communicate the action of the House to the Senate. Next Senate message.
The Clerk of the Senate announces that the Senate has concurred in the House amendment with amendment and passed committee substitute for Senate Bill 250, budget bill.
The message will be received. Gentleman the 12th to explain the message.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the compromise. The following changes reflect the differences between the House strike and insert amendment and the compromise budget. In the judicial section, it creates a new line of appropriation for family treatment courts and realigning appropriations for personal services and current expenses to the new line. The judicial total changes were $237,897, decrease. In the governor's office, increase the civil contingency fund appropriation to the introduced amount and move leader appropriations back to the civil contingency fund. Governor's total changes were $10,099,898 increase. In the treasurer's office, remove the leader appropriation. Therefore, the treasurer's office changes was a decrease of $5.1 million. In agriculture, create a new line for the Capital Kitchen Enterprise Incubator appropriation. Total change, a $250,000 increase. In the Attorney General's office, an increase of personal services and employee benefits offset by an expiration from special revenue. The Attorney General's total change was $2 million increase. Secretary of State's office, creation of a new appropriation for the Office of Entrepreneurship. Secretary of State total change, $175,000 increase. In the Administration Department, an increase to the West Virginia Prosecutor Attorneys Institute. Administrative total change, $125,054 increase. Department of Commerce, an increase to the Division of Economic Development in local economic development projects for $1,125,000 and current expenses for $100,000. An increase to the Division of Miners Health, Safety, and Training Personal Services for $546,750. Commerce total change, $1,621,750 increase. In the Department of Tourism, an increase to the Industrial Development of $500,000 and an increase to the Division of Arts, Cultural, and History for education enhancements of $1 million. Tourism's total change will be $1,500,000 increase. In education, Hope Scholarship, funding structure, $100 million in supplemental funding, $116,738,098 funded from the general revenue. There is a $20 million carryover and an additional $60 million in the surplus section. These funds for the program are for a full year at $236,738,098 plus an additional quarter of $60 million. An increase to the School Building Authority of $10 million. Education changes will be $3,356,463 decrease. Health, increase of current expenses of $2,080,000, and to the pregnancy centers, $1 million in the Health Central Office Fund, and an increase to the Health Right free clinics of $1 million. Department of Health changes, $4,186,500 increase. In Human Services, increases the personal services and the current expenses into Division of Human Services of $13,505,772. Medical Services Administration increase, $156,951. Medical Services increase, $25,785,854. Value-based payments increase, $2,481,860. Community and home-based waiver programs increase $5,025,070 and a decrease in the managed care organizations of $46,100,000. Human Services total change was $9,862,349 increase. In health facilities, a decrease of William R. Sharp Hospital of $35 million. Health facilities total change is $35 million increase. Homeland Security increases the Division of Emergency Management for sirens for $2 million. Trooper Retirement Fund increase, $405,000. And court-appointed special advocates increase of $800,000 and was removed from the surplus section. The non-uniform employee pay raise amendment was not included in the compromise budget, as all state employees were currently budgeted for a pay raise of averaging 3%. Homeland Security total change in their budget from the House bill was $71,616 decrease. Department of Revenue, a new appropriation for the Office of the Secretary for a direct transfer to the PIT fund. Revenue changes $29,038,391 increase. Transportation, increase to the State Rail Authority for other assets. Transportation total change, a $300,000 increase. Community and technical colleges, full inflation adjustments to the community colleges. Community and technical colleges total, an increase of $1,525,751. Higher Education Commission, increase for dual enrollment program, $581,062. Directed transfer to the military college return to HEPC control account, and full inflation adjustments to the colleges and universities. HEPC total changes were an increase of $8,674,921. Miscellaneous boards, directed transfer for the military college to be moved back to HEPC. Miscellaneous boards and changes, $243,500 decrease. General revenue total budget change, $16,388,795 increase, for a total revenue appropriation of $5,484,667,000, and for an unappropriated general revenue balance of $5 million. State Road Fund decreases the DMV personal services by $200,000. Department of Highways maintenance appropriation of $25 million for reduced surplus item decrease. State Road Fund changes, $25,204,693 decrease. State Road Fund total appropriation, $2,140,737,875. Special revenue accounts, increased health care provider tax spending authority by $46 million, and medical services trust fund spending authority by $6.6 million. Special revenue total change, a decrease of $53,704,164. Special revenue account total appropriation, $2,719,106,817. In lottery, State Board of Education decrease by $12 million. Lottery appropriation, $156,006,000. In excess lottery, there were no changes. Excess lottery total appropriation is $334,612,000. Federal revenue, Rural Health Transformation Program, one line with spending authority increase of $523,901. Federal revenue total appropriation, $9,729,228,617. In the federal block grant total appropriation, $725,016,495. In Section 9, General Revenue Surplus, number one position, to be fully funded if the dollars are available, $60 million for Hope Scholarship. Number two, Lily's Place, $250,000. Number three, Willow Bend Agricultural Innovation Center, $100,000. Number 4, Glenville State University, $5 million. Number 5, Infrastructure Jobs Development Council, $30 million from the general surplus. That also includes $46 million that's in the budget. That's an increase of 150%. Number 6, Reclamation of Abandoned and Dilapidated Property Program with the DEP, $10 million. Number 7, Highway Maintenance and Paving Program, $125 million. Number 8, Neighborhood Access Road Program, $10 million. Number 9, Flood Resiliency, $5 million, for a total surplus appropriation of $245,350,000. Lottery surplus decreased to Hope Scholarship, the $16,516,945 due to the full funding through the supplemental and general revenue dollars. Total lottery surplus appropriation, $16,750,000. Excess lottery surplus, there was no changes. Excess lottery surplus total appropriation is $21,345,488. Special revenue appropriations. Expirations were made from the various accounts to the Medical Services Trust Fund, Securities Regulation Fund, $2 million, Consumer Protection Recovery Fund, $2 million, Marriage Education Fund, $600,000, Bedding and Upholstery Fund, $500,000, Elevator Safety Fund, $1 million, HVAC Fund, $500,000. The total expired was $6,600,000. Mr. Speaker, that is the explanation. Thank you.
Does the chair hear a motion to concur in the Senate amendments? Gentleman from the 12th moves that the House concur in the Senate amendment to the House amendment to committee substitute for Senate Bill 250. The question is on adoption of the gentleman's motion. This is a debatable question. Is there debate on the motion? Chair recognizes the gentleman from the 25th, Douglas Hornbuckle.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Gentleman does yield.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So my first question is, I've been looking through the budget. Is this budget reflecting, I know that the Senate wanted that tax cut. Does this reflect that or no?
The budget does not.
The budget does not, but it is still, I guess, up for debate.
It is still a bill that is being held in Finance Committee at this point.
Correct. The next question is, in regards to HOPE, the HOPE program, in total, what is that number that we have appropriated to HOPE?
230. Okay. There was $216 million that was appropriated in the budget, but there's also a carryover of $20 million.
$20 million.
Plus the surplus in the back.
The surplus in the back. So is that,
Hold on.
because my figures are showing 296.
296. Is that right? 216, 230. Yeah, and what that does is that funds 5 quarters. So there'd be the 4 quarters for the current budget year and an additional quarter for the beginning of the following year.
Relative to last year's budget, how much more are we funding in that program?
That comes from something. Okay, so let me correct what I just said.
Yes, sir.
There is $100 million that will be actually coming from surplus funding, from supplementals, $116,738,098 actually comes out of general revenue fund, and there's a $20 million carryover that's already in the treasurer's office. And then we'll do a $60 million in the surplus section in section 9 for $60 million. So the only two in the budget is the $116,738,000 number and the $60 million that are actually in the budget.
In the budget.
Yes, sir.
But just raw numbers relative to what we've appropriated before last year. What's the
Yeah,
difference?
hold on. What was last year's number?
Last year, the program in total between pre-fund and budget, we received about 108.
So between the pre-fund and the current, in the current budget, it was about $108 million.
More.
That was the number for last year. And to remind the gentleman that this year in this budget is when the entire state's student population is eligible to participate, and this will be the first year of that program.
Yes, sir. My next question is, we were able to retain, I know we appropriate $30 million to water. That was still retained, correct?
To what?
To water?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. In fact, again, as I'd said earlier, there's $46 million in the budget, and then in section 9, we put an additional $30 million because the governor had vetoed $15 million last year. So we picked that up and we put an additional $15 million with it. So there's $30 million plus the $46 million
Yes, sir.
that's in the budget.
Thank you. Next question. Can you just sort of, we put $29 million into the Department of Revenue for the PIT Reserve Fund, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Looking on, I want to say it's page 71, I think we had a decrease in parole board salaries. Is that accurate?
In what?
Parole board salaries, we had a decrease there, as well as a reduction in our correction facilities.